Hello Flosstube friends, this is Sandy and this is my channel Stitching with Sandy. This is a channel all about cross stitch and my love for it, and I hope to inspire you. For those of you who have been following me, welcome back, and those who are new, welcome. I hope that I share something with you that sparks your interest or inspires you or enables you to pick up a needle and thread and get that chart and get started. It's been a long time since I floss tubed. My life got super busy. I'm not going to go into too much detail because that would take too long. There's too many things that have been happening. So I thought I would just pick up where I am right now and share with you what I have. And hopefully, since I'm on summer break, I'll be able to come at you a little bit more often. So today is Wednesday, June 25th. I had to make sure. Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. And I'm going to start sharing my FFOs. I have some FOs. I have the wrap up of my spring wheel. And I have what I'm working on now. And so I'm going to go through those with you, and I hope you enjoy. All right, so let's start with FFOs. So I have a wheel, for those who don't know. I have a wheel that I do a morning stitch every morning. I stitch approximately an hour, usually before work, when I'm on summer break, maybe a little bit longer. And I broke up all of my whips into 4 wheels, one for each season. So during the season, I will spin the wheel and I will pick that project up on a Monday, and I'll stitch in the morning every day, Monday through Friday. And then on Sunday, I'll spin for the next week. And my goal is to get those whips finished. So, and then that doesn't stop me from working on something else in the evenings when I get home from work, or on the weekends when I'm home. So I'm going to start, some of my whips or some of my FFOs are from that wheel, and then some of them are just ones I felt like doing. So let's get started. This particular one is called Bees and Blooms. Let me check. This is by Pinker and Pumpkin, and it is called Bees and Blooms. And I stitched this one as a swap for Stitch West. And I went to Stitch West and I stitched it twice so that I can have one and I could give my partner at Stitch West one. And I believe she loved it. All right, and then my next FFO, this came from my spring wheel. It was Bloomin' Tiny Town, and I turned it into a drum. So here it starts. And I used, these were some scrapbooking pieces I had from years ago. Just glued them on the seam. I used some baker's twine around the edge on the top and bottom, and just some fun pink fabric for the bottom and top. I love it. I think it turned out super cute. I can't wait to display it next year. All right, next up is Spring Trio. I didn't stitch all 3, but on my way to Stitch West, I stitched in the car. My friend Cheryl drove me and Barbara so that we wouldn't have to drive. And we drove all the way there, and I just worked on in the car. So in the car, when I do car stitching, I stitch on Ada. It makes it a lot easier. I don't get motion sickness, and I'm able to actually complete it without making mistakes and having to frog. So here is the one I chose, the bunny from Spring Trio by Brenda DeRay. And I stitched him up. This bunny had a lot of stitches. And when I FFO'd him, I knew I want them to be pillows. So I used some rickrack around the edge, and then to hide my stitch up in the back, I just added a bow. This is fun in the front and in the back. And I'll keep that kitted up, and maybe next year I'll finish the other 2. All right. Then at Stitch West, our designer was Shepherd's Bush. And so I wanted to work on something Shepherd's Bush while I was there. And so I chose the Busy Notes by Shepherd's Bush, and I stitched almost all of it there and came home and finished it. So here it is. I turned it into a pillow. It comes with those little buttons, which I loved. And the thing I love the most about the shepherd's bush stitching is that when you're stitching it, you're doing a little bit of back stitch, a little bit of regular stitching, and it just seems to go really fast. So I really enjoyed that. And then I just finished it up. The colors are so pretty. All right. Then I had the boost of energy. I know that Nancy, the Disorderly Stitcher, is doing a sal for the 250th year of our country, and the celebration is next year, 4th of July. So her idea was, let's stitch 13 pieces or parts if you're doing a giant piece, to celebrate. So you have 13 pieces at next year's celebration for 4th of July. Well, with being a working teacher, it's hard for me to get a lot of stuff done when I go back to work. So I thought I'd get a jump start, and I got a big start. Let me get a drink of water. So I started with the Primrose Cottage puts out a freebie. I think they call it Freebie Friday. Once a month. It's actually released on a Thursday, and at the beginning of each month. And the one they picked out this month was a patriotic, and so I chose to start with that one. And this one is called 4th of July in the Round. And so I stitched it, and then I put it in this little frame. And this little frame came from Target in their dollar spot bins. It was $3. And I had it in my closet for I don't know how long. And then I said, oh, I think that'll be perfect. And I just picked out my own colors for this. I just chose my favorite blue, red, white, and blue. And then that way I could get started right away. So this was a pretty fun stitch. It took a couple of days. Anytime I have to repeat something several times, I'll stitch one section and then take a break, stitch something else, and come back. Because otherwise I feel like then I don't want to stitch on it, and I don't want that to happen, so because then it'll never get finished. All right, and then so that was number 1, patriotic. Number 2, I had in my stash Happy Independence Day by Primrose Cottage. So I got it out and finished it, and I decided to make it into a pillow. I love it. It's so cute. And I just made a nice big pillow. I didn't have very many patriotic smalls actually, so I was kind of happy that she motivated me to get started on that. And then next, I've been model stitching for Just Cross Stitch magazine now for 2 years, and in the summer edition this year, 2025, they had a piece by October Fiber House Arts. I believe that's what October House Fiber Arts. There we go. And so when I was model stitching, I didn't model stitch that particular one. I model stitched a different one, but when I was flipping through the magazine when they sent it to me, I saw this and decided I needed to do it. And then I had this idea with some scraps in my stash that I could turn it into a flag. So this one is called Let Freedom Ring. And I made it into a little flag. And I just love it. It's so fun. This one, just like the Primrose Cottage, I stitched a word and then like a couple of motifs, and then the word and a couple more motifs, and then this word and then the rest of the motifs. And I just did it over a couple of days. I love how it turned out. It's so cute. My friend Gina and my friend Michelle, they give me scraps of fabric. Oh, and my friend Arnett too. And I just put them in there, and then when it's time to match stuff up, I'll go in there, and I always surprise myself with what I have to work with. So that was good. So those are my FFOs. Also, I did host a swap. It was a spring swap, and it was themed strawberries. The idea was that you were to stitch a strawberry or stitch a piece that has strawberries in it, and then we mailed them out. We got them back, and I apologize to everybody who participated. I know I've been gone for a while, but I do have a little video of everybody's finishes, and when we come back from that, I will share the one that I received. So we'll put in that video right.
Yes, I'll come back to you, then I'll ask, what have we done under the sun? To be free, be away, big breath that you can't fake.
Aren't those beautiful? Let me share with mine up close. I know it was in the video, but let me go a little deeper. So mine came from Deb. And Deb, I don't know if I've received anything from Deb before in the swap. I always put them on a wheel, so I never know who I'm gonna have either. But Deb sent me this beautiful card. And she sent me a little baggie of goodies. It has like green flosses, which green's my favorite color. So she did like a little bouquet. She sent me, sorry, it's all stuck together. She sent me a little needle minder. And get it out. Here we go. It says, one more stitch. Which is what I'm always telling my husband when he said, oh, I'm going to bed. And I always laugh because I always tell him, oh, wait, I have 6 more stitches. And then she sent me some little bulb pins, which is great for finishing. Put on some buttons or some cute little fabric. And then she sent me a set of pins, but I put them in the project. So I put the project on display in this cute little bicycle basket that I had. It was sitting in my kitchen. And here is the beautiful strawberry that Deb stitched for me. She did such a lovely job. And I believe she said it's her first strawberry she's ever done. So good job, Deb. It looks amazing and I love, love, love it. And these are the cute little pins that she made. And she had put them in some wool felt, but of course I knew that were meant to go in the strawberry, so I put them in there. So she did a fantastic job and I just love, love, love it. So thank you, Deb. So that was our spring swap. Now I'm not sure that I'm gonna do a swap right now. I wanna get back in the swing of Flosstube, and we have a lot going on in our personal life right now. And so I probably am not going to do a summer swap, but I will probably do one in the fall once we're past this hard time right now. So let me go on. I do have some finishes that I did finish in as well, just haven't FFO'd them yet. I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but I got to the point where I was so overwhelmed with so many things happening in my life that I would get home and stitch, but then to find time on the weekend to FFO it, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I wasn't motivated. I had other things that I needed to do, so I felt like I didn't have the time. So I just stitched and put them away, put them away, put them away. And then before you knew it, I was like, oh, I need to do a floss tube. But then I realized I hadn't FFO'd anything and I still didn't have the motivation to FFO. And so I didn't. So that's why I've been gone so long. So, but I did FFO now that I'm on summer break. Most of the things are behind me. We are struggling with our father-in-law is not doing well. We don't expect him to be with us much longer. So we've been busy with that. Other than that, I've been stitching with friends. They've really helped me get through this period of time. And I've just been stitching. It's my respite for sure. So let me show you what I finished. So last year, my friend Shelly, she is Hicks Stitch on Instagram, and it's only stitching on here on Flosstube. She and I are birthday twins. We weren't born the same year, but we were born on the same day in the same month. And so we've done 3 birthday sals where we pick a project, and each year we spend the year working on it until our next year. And so far, except for the most recent one, we've even stitched on each other's projects, which is kind of nice. So last year, our birthday stitch was from the Heart Needle Art, the May Quaker. And so here is mine finished. I did change it. I wanted to put my birth date on here, and I did stitch my initial on there, 1/1, and my last name too. So here's mine. She did hers in some different colors. I only changed a couple of the greens into a different green that I preferred, but it is finished. I do need to frame it, and I love it. And then next is in my spring wheel, I had Hands on Design, the 17th block. And so in the morning stitch, it's interesting because when you spin the wheel, you keep spinning until the next day season starts. And then that following week would be your next seasonal wheel. So I stitched on this twice. It came up twice in the wheel, and it's done. So what progress I've made has been amazing. So here is the side panel. And I'm going to come up closer so you can see it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Those greens and the purples together just go together so nicely. So I finished this in the first time, the first span of it. And when I say it's a lot of progress, when I first started, I was only right here. So I was able to do all this in that hour stitching before work on this one, on the first time it popped up. And then on the second time it popped up, I was able to finish the top. So now I just need to FFO it. I'm very excited about that. So that was something that came off the wheel. And then I went to the Spring Mingle. That was fun. I love going to all of Lindy Stitch's virtual retreats. She's having one next month. So if you haven't heard about it, look up Lindy Stitches. You can find her on Instagram or here at Flosstube, and or her website, and you can find all the details to sign up for her next virtual retreat, which is next month. I think the third weekend in the month, but I could be wrong. I will be there, so if you come, I hope to see you in the stitching rooms. But I took the class from Hands on Design, and the class was This Bee's Got Knees. And I was gonna try to do the pre-stitching, and then life just got so busy that I didn't get it done. So I worked on it, I stitched on it the entire weekend of the virtual retreat, and then I spent the next week or two afterwards trying to finish it. It's got a lot of pieces to it. And again, it's like repeat, so I had to keep setting it down or I wouldn't finish it. But here it is, completely finished. Okay. I love that bee is beautiful. You can also make your own pins. I did not make the pins. I figured let's get it FFO'd and then I'll work on the perforated paper pins, and I'll share those when it's all FFO'd. So I did get it done. It was a lot of stitching. She had an amazing directions for the class, and I watched the whole thing. So I feel confident that I can do it. And in addition to that, whenever she does a class, she gives you every single picture. It could be 100 pictures, but every single picture step by step by step to complete it. So if you didn't see the video, you could still finish the project. So she's an amazing teacher. All right, so then after that, for this year's birthday, my birthday is May 8th, and for my birthday this year, we decided that we were gonna stitch Ladybug Picnic by Hands on Design, and a bunch of friends joined in on that stitch. And of course, most of them all finished way before I did. But I did finally get done when this was one of the first pieces I finished this month on summer break. And so I went with a different fabric, and here she is. And my friend Kim, she's from Contented Needleworker Kim, she has gifted me a piece that I can FFO, a wood piece that I can FFO the ladybug on. I just need to paint it, put it together, and then finish her off. So hopefully when I see you next time, I'll have her done. All right, and then in my car stitch, I have to pick up my daughters. So the high school, I work in an elementary school, and we get out about an hour before the high school gets out. And our district sets it up that way. So we get out an hour before the middle schoolers get out a half an hour before. And the idea is that since we're all feeder schools, that if a parent has a student at each one of those schools, they're able to get to their kids before school and after school, and nobody's late. So I don't have anyone at the middle school, so I go from the elementary school over to the high school, and I sit in the parking lot for an hour. So I try to take a piece. It has to be something on a larger count, and it has to be, usually I pick something that's on Ada because I don't have my magnifier with me. All I have, and I don't have lighting with me, I just have my glasses, myself, and the breeze from the car, and that's it. So I take a piece and then I change up as I go. Well, I picked Harvest Blessings, I think it's called, from Prairie Schooler, and I finished it. So here it is. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm probably going to frame it, but I pulled it. It was from my fall wheel, so I was able to delete that off my fall wheel and get it finished. So I've switched now from this one. I was working on Nevermore by Leela Studios, which I didn't bring to share with you. I'll bring it next time. That one has a lot of borders, but not borders around, more like borders going up, and they're very, very detailed. So that one, the first border, what I worked on also on the way to Stitch West and finished it. And then the next one is really wide, and I have a tiny bit on the end of that to finish. So once I get that finished, I'll actually get into the meaty part, the fun part, where the raven is and the Edgar Allan Poe quote is, and the change of colors. So I will share that one with you next time, because I hope to finish that little piece off just so that I can say that's complete. So next time I pick it up, I get to the fun stuff. So I'll bring that next time. And then 2 more pieces that I'm going to FFO soon into Standups. I did Not Forgotten Farm, Parade Sam, and here he is. I stitched them on 28 count because the call for was 36, but I want them to be stand-up, so I wanted them to be bigger. So here he is. I just love him. And then the one that goes with him is Betsy. And so Betsy, I made a couple changes to her. She didn't have cheeks like Sam does, so I gave her cheeks, and then the white in her apron was kind of daunting, so I put some Smirnoff stitches in it. So here she is, and I felt like that gave her a little bit more texture. So I plan to do them as stand-ups. I was asked from a friend to hold off to making my stand-ups because she would like to make one too, and she's never made one before, so we're gonna do it together. So that'll be fun. So those are all my finishes. I had a lot, but I'm not done because I did a lot more stitching than that. So what I'm gonna do now is share with you the spring wheel pieces that I worked on so that you'll know where they are. I don't wanna do a mid-year whip parade because now that I'm doing the wheels, I feel like I'm sharing those projects with you and where I got to. And so it's kind of like doing a mini parade every season. So let me get a drink of water. All right, so the first one, this one is near and dear to my heart. My father had got back to me and confirmed that Maria Selby Humphrey is one of my ancestors. So here is her sampler. And when I first heard about this, and she had the same last name Humphrey as my maiden name, I was like, wow, what if she was related to me? And then when I read a little bit of insert of information about her that was included in the chart, I asked my dad about it, and he asked the person in our family who follows our genealogy and confirmed that yes, they are related to us. So I decided, okay, I'm not a big sampler person. I do like samplers with just motifs, like like this one. But generally I don't do the ones with lots of alphabets. I am a teacher, and a lot of times those alphabets are missing a letter, which kind of bothers me. I know back then some of them didn't use those letters, but I use them. I teach kindergarten. We use every single one, and I couldn't bear to leave one out. So generally I don't. But for this one, I just thought I'm going to stitch it the way that she stitched it. The only change that I plan on making is I'm going to include her. I'm going to have her name and her age and her year that she stitched it. And then I'm going to have my name and the year that I stitched it right underneath it, instead of saying wrought by her or whatever. So let me show you where I'm at. So when I got it out, so I have it on a sheet. No, not really. I'm stitching on a 28 count because I want it to be a really big statement piece, since it is a family member. And so here's where I'm at. I'll hold it back here. And she's got very light parchment is the color, I believe, for some of her letters, so they don't show up far away. But when I started working on her, pulled her from my wheel, I was just about here at the Z. So I stitched across here. She also came up twice. So I stitched across here and finished this alphabet. And then the second time it came up, I did this row. And then I'm just bringing the border down as I go. So the next, I have one more alphabet to stitch underneath this last one. And then I'll get to the actual words that are in it. It'll have who it's stitched by. It also has a little quote. And so I'll work on that the next time it comes up. Now I know these are, like I said, in my wheel, but that doesn't mean I won't pick them up again. I do a lot of challenges on Facebook, and so sometimes I pull those projects out for whip challenges. So you'll get more work on before the year's over. The next one that was on my wheel was Spring by Sarah. This is the pattern, and this picture is so ugly. It doesn't show how pretty it actually is. And this one, the motifs are kind of big, so I tried to do a motif each time I bring it up. So here's where I'm at. I'll hold it out here first. And this one is also going to be a statement piece. I want it to be on my mantle for spring. I don't have a lot of spring stitches, so on my mantle I always hang a large piece up there. And then, so this will be that one. So when I picked it up, I did this motif with the quilts on the hill. I brought the border down, and then the last time I picked it up, I worked on this house. So it'll take a while. The good part is, after I get through this side, the middle has a lot of characters, like as children, as people working in their gardens, plus a lot more larger homes. So I look forward to stitching on it again. It's funny when you put these things down and you think, I love stitching that by moving on, and then you don't pick it up all the time. Well, this wheel forces me to pick it up, which is great because I love all of my whips. There's not one that I'm dreading stitching on. I just go on to the next new thing. And so then I pick it up and I'm like, why did I put it down? I love it so much. And it happens to me every time. So it just motivates and refreshes you in your stitching, being able to set it down and come back. So the next one in my wheel is Simple Life by Teresa Kogut. And this one, when it popped up, here's where I'm at. I'll show you where I'm at right now. I don't have much further to go because I'm down where the animals and then I have the water. So when I picked it up, I stitched the house, and then the next time it came up, I stitched the pot, and then I started coming down here. So now I'm at the animals. So I'll probably over summer, my goal is to try to pick it up at least once a week and get one motif when I pick it up. And that'll be like one animal. If it's a small animal, I might do two to try to get all the animals done, because then I have the water, and the water's going to take a little bit of stitching. And I think the best time to do that would be in Zoom stitching, because it will be tedious, all that water. All right, and then the next one, this one I felt like my week, I had way more progress in a week for this one. I'm not sure why, it just happened that way. Maybe I woke up a little bit earlier, I don't know. But it is the Willow Tree Sampler. This one by Carriage House Samplings. And I love this one. Now when I picked this one up, I've got one half of it done. When I picked it up, I only had 2 branches and I had the leaves on them. And I realized there's 2 greens. There's one inside the leaves and some down in these bottom pieces. Well, they're 2 different color greens. And apparently I picked up the wrong one. So yes, I ripped out all the leaves on these, on the second branch, and restitched them. And then over the week, I added the 2 more branches, and then when I picked it up again, I finished putting all of the crows on there and getting the center part of the tree done. So I got a lot done on this one. On the pattern, it has like her name, and her name is Hannah Lane April 1856. I'm not going to stitch that. So what I'm probably going to do is I will stitch the border down and do the grass and just fill it in. I'm not going to put any names there. So I just have to do the other half of this tree. It was a fun stitch. I'm really enjoying that one. All right, then this one's a big one. This one is And a Forest Screw by Rosewood Manor. And this one, I originally, you know, you always have these best laid plans. I originally thought, oh, I'll stitch a tree a day. And I was doing so good with it. I was sticking to it, and then all of a sudden I put it away and I didn't get it back out. Yep. Have you done those things before? So here is where I am at. A lot of friends asked if I was still stitching on it, and I am. I was going up and down, so this time when I picked it up, I thought I was at the center big tree, but there's still a couple of trees that need to come in right here. So I went from here's the quote part one, I did all of this when I picked it up. And so this one also I would like to get back to, at least while I'm off, maybe work on a tree a day, I don't know. I don't want to put the pressure on myself right now because we do have a lot going on, but I do want to continue to add some more trees in, so that way I will be able to get more progress on that because I love that piece so very much. All right, so then the last piece in the wheel, because since I FFO'd, I have, or finished, I have less pieces. I only have 6 pieces left in that from that wheel to carry over. So if I work on them over the rest of the half of the year, I may only have a couple left to carry over to the new year, so that'll be fantastic. This one is Once Upon a Time Sampler by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And I love this one. Being that I teach kindergarten and I love reading stories to children, I thought this would be a fun one to hang in my classroom. And so every time it comes up, I stitch a motif. Well, this time I stitched 3, but I didn't finish the 3rd one. So when I picked it up, well, let me show you the whole thing. Here's where I'm at. And then when I picked it up, I already had Hansel and Gretel. And the one thing that I'm doing is these were listed by months. They had the month. So wherever the month went, I'm stitching over the name of the story characters. So I had Hansel and Gretel. So when it came up the first time on the spin, I did Little Red Riding Hood. And of course it says 2024. I'm probably not, I didn't finish it in 2024. It's my start date. And I'm just gonna leave it, it's okay. I won't feel bad about it. 20 years from now, I'll look back, oh, look what I finished in 2024. We don't have to tell that Sandy that that's a lie. All right, and then I did Cinderella. I love her, she's so cute. And then I started on Rapunzel. And here she is. So she's got a basket. There's a couple little birdies next to her. And then, of course, a forest over here. So next time I pick it up, I'll finish Rapunzel. This is really fun to stitch, actually, because as you're stitching, every little tiny detail in it is like a little mini finish. It makes you feel good about what you're doing. All right, so those from my wheel. I will share my summer wheel next video, but I will show you what I'm working on for this week from that wheel. So from the summer wheel, I spun it. I believe there's 8 choices on that wheel. And the first one that came up for this week was Jan Hicks Creates Sunflower Medley. When this came out last year's market, I was like, that is the one project that I had to have. I've been doing a lot better on Nashville Needlework Market is when the projects come out, you know, you have that, I gotta have it. Well, I've decided that since they're gonna be around a while, I need to pick like what I really, really want the most and can't stand to wait, and pick 1 or 2 projects, and then the others, if they stay on my interest of wanting list, then I'll order them later. So this one was the only one I ordered in the 2024 market. And here she is. So here's where I'm at right now as of today, and I haven't stitched on it this morning. I'll probably stitch on it after this video because it's early here. When I picked her up on Monday, and today's Wednesday, I had these 2 sunflowers, the little one and the letters. So on Monday, I stitched her the last sunflower, and then I started on the border. And then yesterday, I finished filling in the border here, and I came over and started the word sunflower. So this one probably, I'm not going to say for sure, but probably could get pretty close to being done because I still have today, tomorrow, and Friday to work on it. So we'll see if I get it done. If I do, I'll share it with you when I come back at you next time. And then the only other thing that I was working on yesterday is when Nancy had mentioned about the patriotic pieces, and mind you, if you've been watching, that's 3 FFOs and 2 FOs, so that's 5 patriotic stitches. This will end up being my 6th one. So you can see I'm almost halfway there, which will be great because then I don't have as many to finish throughout the year. So I should be on track to having 13 finishes next year for 4th of July, which will be fun because I didn't have a bunch of smalls. I'm tackling smalls for it because I have big pieces for patriotic stitching, but no small ones. So last year I downloaded this. You can get it from I think it's called StarSpangled Stitchers on Facebook. It's a stitching group, and it's all about patriotic stitching. And in their files, there's a lot of freebies. And so last year I printed this one, and it's by Barbara Anna, and I stitched this one. But I kept it kitted up in my project bag so that this year I could do this one. So I picked this one up. I hadn't started it. It was blank. And I've just spent 2 days on it. It's nice and small. Here's my progress. All I have left is the flag that goes right here. So I'll probably work on that today and get her finished and FFO'd so that I can put her with her sister next month when I put out my stuff. So that would make another finish for 13 finishes. So those are all my stitching. That's what I'm working on right now. Now my goal is to continue working on my summer wheel. I'll have a new project on Sunday. And then I went through my projects and I kind of picked out projects that are, you know, close to finish or ones that I hadn't worked on in a while. And I've been picking them up, trying to do a different one each day. This one I started Monday. I pulled it out and started it. Yesterday I got the majority of it done. Today I'll finish the flag, which means that it'll be done and out of my whips. And then I'll move on to another piece, and I'll just keep doing that. During the summer, I have been doing a little bit of, since I saw you last, I've done 3 model stitches, 2 for just Cross Stitch Magazine and 1 for Luminous Fiber Arts. So I got those out. I think the Luminous Fiber Arts went out my last week of school, which was at the beginning of this month. So I don't have any right now, but I am waiting for a couple pieces that I've been contacted about to work on. But until they get here, that means I can stitch whatever I want. But that's all I have for you today, and I'm glad that you came back. I'm sorry that I'm so wishy-washy, not always here. Try to come when I can. I'd love to have things to share with you, so I hate to come and not have something to share with you. So I hope that you enjoyed what you saw. I hope you'll come back. If you can like this video and subscribe, that'd be wonderful. I do host a Zoom every month on the second and fourth Sunday of the month, and that is from 10 to 2 Pacific Standard Time. You're welcome to come anytime. If you can't come when we start, that's fine. Come when you can. Just email me. My email is in the description box below, and you can email me. I'll send you the link, and you're welcome to join us. We have a great time stitching on those Sundays. So I hope to see you, and until next time, I hope that you are safe, happy, and healthy, and enjoy your stitch. Bye, friends.